Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the video. My name's Oliver King, and since it's snowing outside, I'm making an extra little video this week just of the unique sales that I made in October that were kind of fresh new ideas that I was working on. So hopefully these ideas are going to help you build your own portfolio and just give you some more kind of things to think about when you're creating your own content to put on Shutterstock and make more sales. October was actually the month so far that I've had the most success. I made over 30 sales so far on all the platforms I'm working with. So I made 26 on Shutterstock, 3 on Adobe Stock, and another 3 on Big Stock. So I kind of broke my old record by quite a large margin, and that was great. So I just wanted to show the new stuff that I was selling. I'm not going to go over the old stuff that I sold before, but I'll just show you some of the new stuff that I sold, and hopefully that will help you out in your own pursuits. So let's jump into the computer and take a look at what's working. So let's start at the end of the month here first. This one is just a quick vector drawing background that I made for Halloween, and I just made this with the pen tool and just modified the lines a little bit with the width and the stroke. Just a couple of quick little adjustments to make, but this was quite quick and easy to do. And then I just put a gradient in the background with a couple little outlines of tombstones. So this only took me about 10 minutes to make, and I'd like to kind of do a couple little vector tutorials just about how to make basic little backgrounds like this. They can be useful to you in terms of just other artistic pursuits as well, so it's just a useful skill to know. This next picture, I took a series of pictures at home. I don't know if you saw the video that I posted on YouTube, but it was just a little photo shoot I did with my dogs, and these ones actually sold fairly well. The lighting's really good whenever it snows, so whenever I have the day off, the lighting's nice and even, so I just use the natural lighting that's around me to grab some pictures. And dogs are always a great little subject because they're so emotive. And just another little concept of winter and slippers in here. That was a good little photo to take. It has a bit of a concept to it, so that worked out quite well. This is also just a good reminder to take photos in sets as well. If you are taking pictures and you have the day off or you just have the time, take between 5 and 10 and pick out the best ones and post those ones on Shutterstock and make sure they're fairly unique from each other. But it's good to have little sets sometimes because sometimes people want images that are similar in tone, and so yeah, just having little sets of them is sometimes a good idea. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this one before, but this one is now sold about 6 times, but it's just something to consider if you're traveling, if you're around monuments or any sort of important historical areas. This is in Tiananmen Square in China. Just a reminder to get concept in with your photos. So rather than just taking a picture of the monument without people in it, I wanted to include the people in it at the bottom, but I also wanted to include the idea of surveillance and kind of the whole Big Brother is watching you idea in China, since that is part of the thing that makes it so captivating in the news, and that's probably what's also going to make the image sell, because that's a hot topic that people are always discussing about things like surveillance and things about big government and that whole idea. And again, CBD oil continues to sell very well for me, and just one thing to consider is that this is actually olive oil, this is mint, this is oregano. These are all things that aren't necessarily the thing that I'm talking about, but sometimes it's interesting to illustrate what something looks like with other things you have around the house, just in case you want to create a concept. You don't necessarily need to have all of the materials there, so you can fake it and just make the concept out of the photograph that you're working with. And I've created some similar ones. This one are mine, and these have all sold as well. So just a reminder that new and emerging industries are always going to sell, and these nice little clear background images are going to be a good thing to focus on as well. Nice and simple, nice and clean, and there's plenty of room for copy all around the main subject here, which is the bottles of oil. These are actually some of my favorite pictures of my friend who was just cooking for us. He was just plating some ravioli, and since he's a former chef from England, he was doing a very nice job of actually plating the ravioli, and they look really beautiful. So I created a little set of images of him just cooking in the kitchen and just snagging some good plating pictures. And again, it's nice to create these things as a set, just to make sure that if people are interested in one of the images, they might be interested in 5 of them. So just a reminder to create sets of them that are similar in color and concept, but also very different in what's actually being displayed. So in this instance, he's plating them, but maybe in another one, he was actually doing the preparation for them. So somebody might want to create an image set that's based on the process of cooking ravioli, and if you have the whole process documented, that might be something that they'd be interested in. This is another CBD oil one, but I want to focus on this one for a different reason, just because macro photography is something that's not always considered, but it's something worth looking at if you have a macro lens, or if you're able to get fairly close up with something like a 50mm lens. I believe that's what this one was. Just a reminder that you can always go macro and make your images just a little bit more interesting to look at, a little bit more different, and they might stand out a little bit from the crowd. So take your close-ups, get those shots in, and that might set you apart. This one was actually sold in November, but I think it's hilarious, so I'm going to mention it anyways. If your lighting is really good and yeah, you set up a nice fitness exercise sort of thing, I guess these sell as well. This one just made me laugh because it's pretty old, and yeah, lighting really helps. So yeah, if you can use yourself as a model, that's great, and if you can get your lighting right, you can cheat on a lot of things to make yourself look a lot better than you actually do. So that's great. So that one sold as well, and I just thought it was funny. All right, thank you for watching. I hope that was useful to you. I hope it was interesting to just look at what's selling for me. In the comments down below, let me know what's selling for you, what concepts are working really well for you in the last month. October, again, was my best month, so I'm kind of curious to see how it was for everybody else as well. So thank you for watching, and if you're interested in content like this, by all means subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.